right, y'all, what's up? Here we are. It's your boy Yo-Yo, and I'm right here with my man's Sebas.
What's up, mi gente? ¿Cómo estamos?
Yes, Sersky, and I am happy to announce the first edition of its kind, 90 Plus Podcast Player Spotlight. And here we're with one of my dearest friends, a friend that we go way back. I used to smack him, and then now he thinks he can smack me. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro. Tell the people who you are.
So for those that you don't know, my name is Luka Nedic. I'm born and raised in Lincoln, but I kind of grew up, I would say, more in the Omaha area. And I'm currently at a Division I school at University of Illinois Chicago. Me and Angel go way back when I used to bounce him around.
When he used to have the mohawk.
Yeah, Mohawk.
Remember the mohawk, bro?
Yeah, I remember.
When was that, bro, that you went to Red Star? Was that?
Yeah, so my journey is kind of long from soccer perspective. I started off in NFC, which was an Omaha team. So, I mean, I had a couple of friends that were from Lincoln. Zion Osorio, Darling now, which is, I don't know, he's in Atlanta now, living his life. So I started off probably around like 13, U13s, all the way to like U15, training almost like every other day, traveling in Omaha right after school, you know.
And how far is that drive for those people that don't know? From Lincoln to Omaha?
I mean, from Lincoln to Omaha, it's probably like, I would say where we were training, probably like 50 minutes, 45 minutes around there. So some days you were pretty exhausted. Some days you were just like, oh, do I really want to go to practice, you know? Or you pack your bags right away. And just some days you're like, oh, do I really want to go to practice? Some days you're just excited to go because you've been in school all day, you know? So I mean, I did NFC for a couple of years. And then when I was 16, I went to, it was supposed to be just like a family vacation, kind of. So I went back home where my family's originally from in Bosnia. And my mom actually had a good family friend out there that knew one of the coaches out at Red Star, which is a team in Serbia, in Belgrade.
Okay.
And I got invited to like kind of like a camp. It was like where the first team had their preseason and stuff. And so I went there, got invited, did really well. And then luckily for me, that coach that was there from my age group was there at the camp. So he kind of asked me, hey, I think you would be a good fit. You want to just come try out for like a week or so? And I was like, yeah, I mean, if my family is okay with it, because I don't know how long I was going to be there. You know, I was traveling. I had to go back to like Bosnia and stuff to visit other family and stuff. I mean, my family grew up like watching Red Star, which is like, I mean, I don't know, for some people that
That's
don't know.
That's your team, right?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of the team. I didn't really grow up watching, but
that's kind of my team.
But is it your team or is it team of Bosnia?
No. So that's a team in Serbia.
Oh, Serbia.
But so, you support them, bro. I see you.
Yeah, I supported them. My dad, I mean, obviously supported them for a long time. You know, I didn't know much about it. Like growing up as a kid, I never really watched teams out in Bosnia or Serbia play, you know. So I kind of like fell in love with it as soon as I got there, you know. Because I mean, they have a big rival, which is a team called Partizan. So it's kind of like River and Boca type of thing, you know. Like,
do y'all got the hooligan scene going on over there?
Yeah, so the thing is, like, those stadiums, they're kind of not even like probably 5 minutes apart from each other. Yeah, they're both the stadiums are 5 minutes apart from each other. You can literally see them, like almost like it's not across the street, but it's like up the hill kind of. So,
bro, River and Boca right there.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know, but River and Boca are only separated by a street, literally across from each other. So that's a perfect comparison.
For me, like I think it's one of the most like heated rivalries. Like, I mean, not growing up, but like watching it throughout the years and stuff. I think like it doesn't get the credit it deserves. I think people are highly mistaken that.
No, because what you're saying is about more of a like intensity. Because you have like a Clásico. The Clásico is kind of like prestige. You're not gonna see Real Madrid fans and Barca fans fighting each other. And this one you might. Yeah,
this game is more like what minute is the game gonna be stopped because flares are going on the field type of thing, you know. So it's just like one of those, you know. It's not like the prettiest in soccer. You always get like a 0-0 or 1-0 games, but
like in Colombia, they have to give 20 minutes to the opposite side to leave the stadium and the premises, leave the home team leave type of thing, you know. Like you have to get some like time between the two teams leaving the stadium, because if not, there's gonna be chaos outside.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to be super, like they used to allow where it used to full stadium, but now they had to like almost block off like half of the stadium because it just gets like obviously so.
Have you been to one of those games?
So I was supposed to go, but the people I was staying with, they told me it's better if you don't go. I ended up didn't go, so I watched it on TV, but it was always like stopped because like you couldn't even see the field, bro, because there was like the smoke and the flares. It's just you kind of just like I mean, for me, if I would to go watch it personally, I think I would just be watching like both ultras just doing whatever, or singing and all that stuff. You know, I would be more focused on that than the actual game. You know, so.
I feel you. So you go to this crazy ass team that you're just talking about right now, which is Red Star, and you have this trial with your team, and then tell us what happens from there.
Yeah, so I mean, I went to the camp. I got invited to go try out, but at the time I was just visiting family and stuff like that, and I was just like training with other teams. And then I did another tryout out in Bosnia for a team called Veleš Mostar, and I was there for like a couple days. And the first team actually wanted me, so they saw me train there and they wanted to pick me up. But then I got a phone call like that night of when I was gonna talk to my mom about it that Red Star wanted me to come try out, and my mom obviously knows a lot about Red Star and my dad as well. So they said, you better take your ass over there and go try out before anything, you know. So I went over there, tried out, you know, did the week and a half process, whatever it is. Made the team, was there from like U16s all the way to probably the U17 year. I found an agent, and then he wanted to take me to Czech Republic to play for a team called Sparta Prague.
You got just approval.
Bro, if you're in Europa League, Champions League, that's what you kind of like want to aim to, you know?
I mean, at the time when you get said that you made it to the Red Star team, you know, and that team was like full of, I think they call it like the golden generation of that age group. I mean, I have friends that play in Serie A now. I have friends that from that team. I have a friend that plays at LA Galaxy, starting forward up there with your boy Chicharito, you know.
Oh yeah, we got homies in there.
So that team was, I mean, it was a really good team, you know, and for me to say that I was a part of it for that year, whatever year and a half it was.
Yeah, well, props to you to make it to that dream team.
It just felt like, you know, it only went up, you know. It felt like that's what it was only gonna go up from there, you know. But
I mean, still, even these days, you keep putting yourself in these teams that people, you know, Joss or people in Orlando that you know. Wasn't it someone in Orlando or
Colorado? So Colorado. Shout out my boy Moines Bombito. So
yes, sir.
If I'm drafted, I think it was third pick to the Colorado Rapids.
Yeah, third pick, first round, third pick. Round? Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. About where you're at right now. Tell us about
the journey. So where I'm at right now, I'm at a Division I school out in Chicago, University of Chicago. So I mean, it's my first semester. I'm a spring transfer from obviously Iowa Western, the JUCO that I was at. Yeah. And so far it's going so good. You know, the guys they opened me up like with real opening arms. You know, they're very kind, and it's just like a really hardworking team. You know, like mostly, I mean, here in Chicago, mostly like team is mostly full of Hispanics, but we got a couple of Europeans and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a really hardworking team. The guys get along great, like better than I thought I expected. You know, but so far.
What about like playing style? How do you feel like? Are you getting it up or?
Yeah, so like all on the ball, technical work, like style wise, we like to keep the.
Oh, you like.
From what they have.
Oh, okay. You're back, bro. Not bad. Go.
Yeah, did you hear? Did you skip out on everything or?
No, just
5v5.
Yeah, you 5v5s.
Yeah, so like I mean, from our style of play, from what it looks like, from playing all these like little not pick up, but like these little 5v5, 6v6s and trainings and stuff. We're a team that likes to keep the ball a lot. I can tell, you know, like, and we try to break you down like possession, and I think we're just trying to fit in the pieces that were missing from them last season and put them into this season, you know. So I mean, there's still a lot of time to tell. Like, our season is not until August, so we have a lot of time to work on our game. But I mean, so far, I couldn't be more happy with where I'm at right now, you know.
Oh yeah.
What conference are you guys playing? Like, who is your toughest opponents in your conference?
So I'm fairly new to like all this stuff since I'm a transfer, you know. But I know they're in the Missouri Valley Conference, so that's like Missouri State, Drake, Bradley. I know, and they added a couple of new teams. So Northern Illinois, NIU, Bowling Green, which is a team out in Kentucky. They're pretty good. There's a lot more other teams, but I'm kind of fairly new to the conference, so I don't know much about it. But I mean, from what they say, it's not like one of the best conferences, but it's a conference now with the added these teams that it should be getting up to one of the better conferences. Yeah, competitive. I mean, it's a competitive conference for sure, but
what is the pressure for your team? Like, are you guys supposed to be winning this or?
Well, yeah, from the past, they used to be in a league called the Horizon League, and they used to. I mean, from like you could tell when we walk up to training, they have like pictures of the years they won. And I mean, it seems like it's always like back to back to back, like they're used to winning, so like these last, I think it was like 2 years since they haven't won a conference title. So then that's, I mean, from what the coaches say, that's like a weird feeling for them, not winning the conference in like 2 or 3 years, something like that. So they want to kind of get back on that winning way. So hopefully they brought in the right players to get the job done, so.
That's awesome. I do wanna talk about the level that you are right now. And I kind of want to compare because you actually lived different levels of football or soccer, throughout your life, right? So you were based on what I've known, Omaha South, Bug Eaters, now Iowa Western, and now you're like D1 school. Can you tell me how going to practice and playing these games, how is the level comparison?
The level is here, especially with this team, it's intense, like there's guys we even like in these pickup games, like we do like these competitive things on Fridays where we just play 5v5, and you don't want to be on the losing side of that for sure, because you're definitely not happy the rest of the day, going into the weekend with a loss in 5v5, because a lot of shit talking and stuff like that goes into it.
Oh yeah, and
remember the gauntlet, bro?
Yeah. I mean, at Western, it was rough. It was very competitive.
Oh shoot.
But like we had this thing called gauntlet where it was just like no blood, no foul type of thing. They never called it no fouls and stuff like that. But here, I mean, I would say the competitiveness, it's a little bit more here. They demand more from you, I would say. It's not easy, like it's just constant work every day, waking up early, training, then you got gym after, so, and then you got these guys just, especially, that's what I said, like if you lose, it's not like that's not a good feeling, no one really likes to lose, like, especially here, like we have a lot more Hispanic players on our team, and they're, you know how you guys experience in Omaha too, like it's kind of the same, like they're always competitive about their soccer, they love it, so for them to have to lose on just like a 3v3 or 5v5, they get mad about it, and they try to like, what can you do to fix it, next game and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, that's the intensity of it. What about the skill of it, bro? Or like, what about the technical aspect of it? Like, when was that time where you kind of were like, oh shit, we're going from like, little boy touches that are like 2 feet away from you to like touches that you need to have right in front of you? Yeah.
I think I'll take it a little farther back to when I was at the Red Star days, like over there, it's a lot on the ball work, so I learned a lot technical wise and more like IQ style of play over there. You really got to play with your brain instead of like your feet, just how like Pirlo said, your feet are just the tools, so like it's more just like figuring out the game over there. And here, when you play high school, I mean, I'm not going to lie, for those, I mean, sorry to break it to you, the kids that play high school here, like high school for me was a joke,
Yeah.
It's just like wrestlers and basketball players trying to play soccer. Like, it was just a way to have fun with friends while your like school buddies come to watch you play and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But I think the skill wise here, I'll give you a little information about our assistant coach. Our assistant coach, he's a Ukrainian coach, and he played Division I at Indiana like back in the 90s, and he won a national championship and everything, and played in MLS for FC Dallas and a few other teams. So like he just demands a lot. So we're always working with technique, and he's always just trying to show us movements off the ball, movements on the ball, where can you get the ball here, and stuff like that, and how precise your touch needs to be to get away from a defender and stuff like that.
You said it changed in Red Star, and that's
where I mean that's kind of I mean, from playing obviously NFC, then going straight over there to playing in one of the best youth academies like in that area, in the Balkan area. It's like that was a major change, and I had to grow up like really fast in order to try to make a name for myself, So
if you could describe that change to someone, like you're like, bro, this is what I thought it was. This is what it actually is.
Like I kind of even started a little bit too late over there, because like here when you grow up, it's kind of like there's some good players, and then there's some it's just like It's like when I went over there, that change like happened really fast, where it's just like, okay, technical wise, you got to be much faster on the ball. You got to make the decisions much quicker. Where over here, it's just like, okay, and not really a lot of tactics into it. You're just trying to play to win the game. Like coaching over here, I would say like growing up I didn't have like the best coaches, to like kind of guide you over there. It's more training for you to develop as a player. Because obviously, what Red Star is known for, they're trying to get you to the first team and try to sell you for big money onto a bigger team.
Yeah.
So, like,
there's no other option.
That's goal, that's like their only option over there. Where like over there, it's like constant, just soccer. They applied me in school, but like it was like I literally had practice the day I had like the time I had school, you know. And like the one time I showed up to practice and like my coach was like, "Hey, don't you got school like right now?" He's like, "Yeah, but you told me to come." He's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Better you here than at school, you know." So I think that's just the change you guys are asking about. Like over there, it's just they live it, they breathe it, like they don't know anything else, you know.
For sure, I've experienced that in Mexico too.
Yeah, it's a whole different intensity.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you have experience as well playing out there in Mexico. I'm sure you know what the change is like, you know, compared to here, all of it over there. You know, it's not easy, but it takes a while to adapt. You know,
you got to be a game changer as soon as you touch the field.
I agree on that. I think the United States focus on balancing school and soccer, and they try to do it like together, right? Or like literally the rest of the world is more about, bro, put you 100% in soccer.
It's like a religion.
School will come later, or like we teach you the basic math, science, and language that you need. But
after you learn to kick a ball,
focus on this. Here's more like, oh, you have practice early, but then you have to go to school. But if you don't keep a 2.5 GPA, then you can play. They don't believe in the 100% focus on one sport, because they're afraid that if you don't succeed on that sport, you're not gonna have a future.
It's harder for like us like U.S. citizens, American kids, I would say, because I mean, look how many soccer is the number one played sport in the world, you know, and there's so many kids that want to make it professional, you know. If you're not putting your full effort or full focus into that thing, you know, then how can you really say you're gonna succeed in what you want to do with your life, you know?
No, and we were actually saying that yesterday that like United States is one of the fewest countries that soccer is now the number one sport in the country. Like I'm talking about, like soccer is the number one in probably 90% of the planet. Probably India, cricket, and United States American football. But other than that, soccer is what you freaking see every Sunday. You follow every week.
Everyone has a team. Everyone has
bro,
a team
you go to school and you say, "Oh, you play basketball?" It kind of like what the hell are you playing, bro? Like we play soccer here, type of thing.
But like here in America, it would be like, "Oh, you play soccer."
Like what the hell you
we playing basketball in the playground.
Bro, we play the real sport. I'm like, no, bro, this is the real sport. Just watch and learn in the next 10 to 30 years, bro. Soccer is gonna come in.
Okay, bro.
I mean, that's what I hope. Yeah.
We're that generation, bro.
Bro, that's why we're doing this. Come on,
we're trying to be the pioneers of this inside of this motherfucker, bro.
I do have a question for you, and I think that goes into like something that I want to know. Is that you like I said, you won Red Star, and then you were after that you were in Lincoln, and then from there you went to Omaha South. Then you went to, you have different steps in your career. Now you are where you at. What obstacles did you face throughout those years? Let's say how you overcame those obstacles, because I know you have many.
I mean, the first one I would say would probably be with the Red Star one. So, I mean, when I was probably 15, 16-year-old. I went by myself. I didn't have no family there, you know. So I was kind of just living like with the team hotel and stuff. And then, I mean, I'm a big mama's boy, you know. Like at the time when I was 16 years old, first time leaving my parents, leaving home and stuff like that, you kind of get like a little homesick. Some days you'd have like a good session, you know, and you'd be great, like nothing, no stress. But some days you'd have the best session. And some days, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would go to my room and I'm like, fuck, do I really want to be here like anymore? You know, some days you would tear up and just be like, look, do I really want to make this sacrifice for my family and stuff? And then when you kind of hear your parents' voice from like a distance, knowing they're not like right next to you, just talking it out, it kind of made it difficult. That was like one of my early obstacles. Also, when I played in like Czech Republic too, like when I went on their trial, my agent kind of like screwed me over, because over there, like in the Balkan areas, if you don't really have like a good agent, you kind of just like screw yourself over. The agents over there think more about the money than the player. The agent kind of took me out of the Red Star path, and he wanted to say, okay, this place might be better for your development and we can make more money off you, you know? So I went over there, did the trial, and that team, in my eyes, was way worse than what Red Star was, you know? It wasn't easy, but it was like, okay, I had way more competitiveness, I was learning more at Red Star. But over here, I might like make more money or something, like I might have a better chance to make it, because it's like they have better finance and stuff like that, you know? So the trial was going great, you know? And like I was really, like, me and my guy that was from Red Star was there, we were really killing it, you know? So we thought, okay, we're going to make the team, no problem. When you find out, you kind of like, oh, like this trial didn't want to work out the way it did. It was supposed to. it just like kind of hard. It like hits you in the heart. Like, damn,
Yeah.
what do I do now? Can I go back to Red Star, or do I just want to go home and just give it all up, 16-year-old kid. Let me just talk to my mom and tell her that I want to go home for a little bit, And
Yeah.
they didn't really take that response too well. When I came home, they didn't really talk to me for a couple of days because they knew I had a chance to make it somewhere in life, and I kind of just blew it by just saying, hey, I just want to take a little break and come back home.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of my, I would say, biggest regrets and biggest obstacles that I had to like just overcome. It kind of hurts, talking about it, but it is what it is. It all happens for a reason. It's a journey,
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
You building that resiliency, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to be able to understand that, yeah, that type of shit's gonna happen, bro.
And as a 16-year-old, you gotta understand that as one of the first and biggest challenges in their life is kind of leaving your bubble. And those things kind of like put your resilience at test at an early age that you probably didn't have the resilience that you have right now. That if it happened right now, you probably will be able to stay there for a longer period, but you're still a kid and you're missing your mama. You're missing their food and you're missing like kind of like that comfort that supports you to overcome those biggest obstacles that you have in football, in the route to be professional. There's a lot of sacrifices like that.
Yeah. And it was kind of crazy because like I mean, over there, like obviously I speak the language, I understand everything, but it also feels like you were kind of not at home, when you're not strictly from there, and like they treat you a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, like I made good friends when I was out there, so I mean, yeah, I'm happy with the way my journey has come so far. So.
Oh yeah,
bro, it's meant to be, bro. Even if you think that, I could have probably made it, you still have a chance to make it. You have a huge part ahead of you. So I think that is just everything is meant to be. Maybe it wasn't the right time for you at that moment.
Bro, so what you got planned, bro? What you want to do? What are you...
Before we jump to that, I want to ask you if maybe you didn't have none, but a lot of players do, about obstacles that you have as a player. Like, what do you have to become better at from the age of 16 to now to be at the level that you are right now? For me, in specific, is using my left, bro. I suck at using my left. So I know that's one of the obstacles that I kind of like have to challenge myself every day to be a better player. I want to ask you, what did you notice from 16 to now? You're like, bro, I have to be better at this because that's going to make me a better soccer player. And how do you perfection, or how you fix that problem?
I mean, for me, so like my dad, he's a very big like soccer guy, like he watches almost every game and stuff like that. And he always told me like, look, this is what you need to do, and like, and now the game is played much faster. I mean, you look at the Premier League, how fast they play, like with the ball, like stuff like that. So I was never like the fastest guy, but I would always get around, like, I just knew more, like my ball IQ was there, But for me, I think an obstacle that I would say like that I'm still working on today is just always trying to do, like, even in training, always try to do the next rep or something like that you're doing with more tempo, more pace, just more aggressiveness, like off the ball, on the ball, scanning. Like when I was younger, like I never heard someone tell me, hey, you need to check your shoulder, you need to scan here, scan here. Where's this?
That was huge. Yeah.
Even when I got over there, Red Star, like, it was like the main thing. Like we would just do practice without the ball, just looking left and right. Like even my coach would say, like, even when you're not even on the field, always just be scanning left and right. Like even as
even when you walk into class.
When you're doing the class or just walking across the street, make sure you're looking left and right. Backwards,
for the cars,
like, there's so much you could work on your game to be better. Like every player is different. But like my dad always used to tell me, like, don't be comfortable. Put yourself out in like a place where you're not comfortable, and try to outwork yourself every time, because it's always you against you. You're not trying to be better than anyone. You just try to be a better version of yourself. And that's why I try to listen to my dad. And now you kind of see, like, when you start to work on those things, how easier the game comes for you. When you're just making a quick scan, or when you're even talking to somebody, hey, left shoulder, right shoulder, like it's just so key, to become a better player, or yesterday or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, this was the next segment, bro. What we wanted to get into. Yeah. What are some good tips that you have for upcoming players, bro? People that want to make it.
What I would tell, I mean, the younger players is, like, don't stop playing the game. Always love the game. Always look for the ball. Don't try to do stuff that you don't need to do. Just get to know the ball. Treat it like you treat your woman. Something like that. That's what I would say for like the young kids. Always went to the backyard and touched it. And like Even if nobody wanted to come play, I'd always still go by myself, kick about, just that's what I would say for younger players is just don't stop loving the game, like it's kind of hard, like especially now with this generation when you got like technology shit, like iPhone, whatever, kids are getting iPhones, they really want to go outside, like for me it was a little, for us,
he's an old head,
it was a little
bro.
different, all we just knew was
He's an old head.
He's an old head. He's like, oh, these kids ain't playing like we used to play.
I mean, it's true, like I don't see, like in my neighborhood when I was younger, like there were so many kids out playing, like now you see.
I feel that.
We were the last generation to see that, like actually playing outside. Now it's more like inside type of.
So that's the thing that you would tell kids. You would say, fall in love with the ball. Don't stop falling in love with the ball.
Keep fall in love with the ball. Keep playing. I don't know, like it just
always.
Especially look at players now too. Like especially your 16-year-old self, try to look at players that play your position. For example, like for me, I always look at just players like Sergio Busquets or like Luka Modric and stuff like that, and just try to put that.
He is a Busquets. I don't know about Modric though.
I mean, just stuff like that.
No, you're a Busquets cross and Busquets.
I would say that, yeah. Just like try to take players that are playing obviously at the highest level, try to put that in your game,
Oh yeah.
And that's what I would pretty much say about
role model yourself, yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Because I actually want to pick up on something that you said. You knew you were gifted at the tactical level, so that's why you practice.
Mm-hmm.
You knew you were not good at speedy, but you knew you were good at the ball, so you practiced touching the ball, no running, freaking being fast as freak. You focus on what you were good at, so you can give more to your team, and that's you're gonna learn your strengths and your weaknesses early on. But if you know your strength, you kind of work on that to make it like unstoppable, an unstoppable strength. So but I got a lot of like when you say fall in love, I think you fall in love with you so being so good at touching the ball that you just freaking kept playing with the ball because just give me the ball, I'll treat it right. I know how to treat this thing like Pedri does. I might not be fucking Vinicius.
I don't know about Pedri.
But the same stuff. But like I don't know about. I'm not like Vinicius. I'm not gonna be running with this. But if you give it to me, I'm gonna be delicate with this. I'm gonna just touch it the right way, move it the right way, type of thing.
And that's the type of player I am. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not the type of player that wants to be on the score sheet or something like that. Like I leave it for the people that love to be on that stuff. I just like to. For me, it's happier to see one of my teammates score than me. Like it's just.
That's your role. That's your role, bro. That's your role in the field. That's what you give to the team.
Exactly. So I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where like my style of play is just much like every kid wants to grow up being like I don't know, Ronaldo, Messi,
Cristiano?
whatever.
Cristiano.
She loved to watch Messi play, but I knew that wasn't my style, So I always had to try to figure out, to figure out a way that I could fit something into my game to make my playing style better, not just because I mean it's great. I love watching Messi. He's still like my favorite player of all time and all, but I mean I can't do nearly half of the stuff that guy does, So I just try to take from what I know and try to learn from other players watching in my position and try to take that and put it into my game,
Yeah, and I completely agree on that. I think even though we love Messi because he does incredible things, you have to find the player that fits you the best. Mm-hmm. And I think you've done it early enough I think Busquets actually fits your height, the way that you play, and how good he's tactically. He's one of the best players tactically. Role players, knowing your strength, and kind of falling in love with the ball.
Yeah, don't stop playing.
Actually, I do have one last thing, bro, because you're a Nebraska native. You've seen
That's what people are saying. Yeah. So
you're a Nebraska native. You actually are a person that a lot of people follow, see, know that you're making it to the next step from Omaha. We don't have many. You're one of those players. So I do wanna get your insight on Nebraska and Omaha, more specifically football, where you see it as an outsider because now you're in Chicago, and where we can improve as a community to make it better.
To make soccer better.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think for me personally, Omaha, I mean, Nebraska in general is just like really slept on, Like you see, for example, like we have really kids that are really out here doing it, like Ozzy Cisneros, for example, Omaha native, went to KC early in his age and look where he's at now with the first team. You see Diego, a close friend of all three of ours, for sure. Like he's out there doing his thing in Portland, and you just see, I seen recently, I mean, I don't know the girl personally, but I seen a lot of girls, she plays at Nebraska. She just got called up to the U23 like U.S. national team. So I
Mm.
mean, there is talent here. It's just like I think with Nebraska kids, like in order for them to recognize the talent, we go somewhere else, to be recognized. Like no one's really gonna go look at a kid that in Nebraska and say, oh, look, this kid is actually like good or something like that. Like there is talent. I mean, I've seen it like growing up. Like I played with like even Duncan McGuire. I shout out him. Like a player that I played against my whole life. Personally, I never thought would see
I
like
never thought that.
Bro,
You really did that.
he pumped tough last year, bro.
Yeah.
He did something. He went like Vinicius Junior training, bro. He
He
literally,
bought,
I saw him in stay against, was it,
I don't know what he did.
wait, was it you that he was in prep, against Omaha South? Was he in your last? Yeah, bro. He wasn't like, he was good, but nothing out of the ordinary. And this run that Creighton had, he was just pop like scoring from every single angle. So how you say like I do agree on that. I think that we're a city that we're slept on, because we're still seen as a small city, and we treat us as a small city, but we have a lot of talent in this city and slash a state. We have a lot of talent in this state. So that's what I wanted to get you inside, because I feel like you're one of those persons that kind of like step out of your bubble. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go to Iowa Western because I know it's a really good, great school. But meanwhile, I'm gonna go to Bug Eaters to get a different perspective, and now I'm at D1 school, and then from there,
bro. Why
who
you
knows?
keep saying Bug Eaters, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna say Bug Eaters. I never played the Bug Eaters.
Why you keep like saying Bug Eaters?
Did you play for Bug Eaters?
Did you say that last time, bro?
What was it? Menace. Fuck.
Man.
Fuck, boys, Menace. Boy, say Bug Eaters. My bad, bro. Menace. I was tripping, bro. But so you went from I wasn't, and then meanwhile you went to Menace to get a different perspective of soccer and just get more experience. Then you went back. Now you're in D1, but a lot of people in Nebraska don't have that approach, and they don't have the resources as well. It's a lack of resources.
Yeah. That's probably the biggest challenge is with Nebraska is you see, like, I mean, I've called Angel a few times to come play like back in Lincoln. We only have one facility and you're playing Monday nights, but it's always against the same people, so it gets like super tiring, super boring. Like you're playing against the same people every week for the how many years I've known those guys ever since I was a kid, like watching them play adult league, and now I'm playing against them, it like gets kind of boring. That's why, I mean, I made that I would say change, like even that playing Sunday league out there in Omaha was like, I would say much better and just much different. Meaning, I mean, I'm happy that I went out there to play because I met so many, even like you guys, I met so many great people throughout the way, like playing for pretty good teams, that could actually like, I mean, I would say like go out and like play a big tournament out somewhere, wherever it's Chicago, Vegas, something like that. I mean, Omaha is much better at it, I would say, than Lincoln. Lincoln is just like, if, for example, like in Omaha, I noticed like when I was in high school, like you can just go to any high school field and you can play, like just play pickup with your friends, whatever. Like, but like in Lincoln, like you try to go to high school, they kick you out within like 5 minutes, like of the field. Like, they just don't want people on the field. Like it's meant for the football guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Then they have a different favoritism,
it's just like, just US being US,
or Lincoln being Lincoln, Omaha being Omaha.
But they're gonna prefer football, they're gonna prefer these other sports and that. Yeah, bro. So obviously, what my business does, bro. We want to build 200 indoor sports facilities for the United States, bro. We want to fill that demand. I know you, someone that kind of went through that too, not having accessibility to those indoor sports facilities, bro. How was that like? And did that kind of, stunt some growth or kind of delay some growth?
I mean, fortunately for me, luckily when they built that complex in Lincoln, I got to become like really good friends with like the owner and stuff. So like there would be some days where like it's closed, but like, he would let me come and train there, So like I got most out of it from but like there would be days like, for example, when that wasn't built, like, and you can't really go play because like everything's closed. You kind of just have to like do it in your backyard or something, which was like fine growing up as a kid. But as you get older, when I'm like 16, 17, I'm in like my backyard is not big at all. It's like pretty small, So like you just kind of get like, why am I back here in this shitty ass grass? Like, like
And when you say you're friends with the owners of the indoor sports facility that they made there in Lincoln, you're talking about the only indoor sports facility that there is in Lincoln.
Yeah. That's pretty much the only like indoor. Now I think it still is the only indoor like soccer facility, you know. And like that's the thing, like there would be days where like even it's still used by like baseball or like football, you know. It's just like here you can't have something that's just meant for soccer players, you know, which kind of like messed up because like at the end of the day it's the biggest sport in the world, and like here it's just treated like it's like not even a sport. Like it's just crazy to me. I don't know, and I wish like I hope. I mean, that's why I love people like you guys that are trying to make a change and try to do something about it, because it's honestly like for especially like with this next generation, you know, like coming up, like I mean, from what I've seen, I don't know how it is now, but it just seems like kids don't want to just fall in love with the game here like it is back home in Mexico or like where I'm from, Bosnia and stuff like that. It's just everyone's always into a new sport, you know.
Yes, sir. And hopefully that changes with Copa America and World Cup coming up, because I do think that after the World Cup, there's gonna be a big switch of like how they see soccer. So we'll see how it goes. I think that after that we'll have a pretty big picture of like what is upcoming for soccer.
Yeah, where soccer stands with America.
Yeah, like after if the World Cup can do shit for you, bro, I don't think anything can, bro. That's the biggest point. Like, you know, that's the biggest.
And that's the point. Like with America is like so expensive to play. You know, like back home you don't have to pay nothing. Like you just like
if you're good, you're good, bro.
If you're good, you're good. Like come on, you know. Like here, it's like if you're good, yeah, give me 1,500 a year. You know, whatever it is. I don't know.
I'm good, but I'm broke.
Not that good.
I'm good, but I'm broke.
And that's the thing. Like I feel like here with America, like that's the thing. Like where you at, where we're from, like, you know, where you find a good player, like the poorer areas, you know, like here here there's that too. Like there's more talented kids, I feel like in the poor areas, but they don't get the development because they can't afford to get higher level training here or higher level coaches, you know, like in facility wise too. Like if you're not part of a club, you can't come train like in a specific place, you know.
And I think that going back to the last thing that you said is like they need facilities, and that's when indoor facilities come in hand. We were talking about yesterday is that indoor facilities just not just become a field, it becomes kind of like a
beacon,
like a community environment. Like you go there to like be safe from whatever is your neighborhood is going around, or like you have a safe place to practice sports and practice what you love. And also the beauty of like how you can implement soccer facilities to like any other sport, you know, is you can put a basketball court and then you can put something else, and then you have like 3 sports there. It's kind of like a community building.
Yes, sir.
And that's the thing. Like I even talked about that too with my dad, you know, one day, and I was like, man, we were just talking randomly, and he's like, we're talking about just say like lottery or example, like if you win the lottery or even say if I made it professional, like what would you do with money, you know? The first thing I told him is like, dude, honestly, I would build a whole brand new like indoor facility where kids can just come and play and just develop, you know, and just find people that want to put time and invest to make their kids like better, you know. And that's like one of the main things I feel like Nebraska should start doing. Like, I mean, I wish if I had the brains for it or the vision, you know, I would do it if I could right now, you know. But it's just
the money actually. I think you have the vision. It's just winning money. This motherfucker.
Like we all have that vision, you know. It's just hard to connect yourself with the right people, and you know, which I'm sure you guys are doing a really good job at now. With like, I mean, you're getting his help and he's getting your help with stuff like that, like money wise and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys can do something with that and make a big change to the Nebraska and Omaha community, because we need it for sure, you know.
Oh yeah,
bro. That's kind of like our main goal. I think once we attack the state, we go to the next, and then we go to the whole country.
Yeah, just trying to be those pioneers, you know, of like football coming into the United States and stuff. And we're gonna include you in that, bro. We came up from the bottoms, bro, and then we're gonna be up there, and we're gonna be pushing that whole wagon. So,
bro, Luka, you're freaking doing amazing, bro. I think that what you're doing right now is only the one of the first steps to make it pro.
Yes,
so I really hope that you keep going at it, keep falling in love with the ball, keep working in what you have to work, keep, you know, grinding, And
real quick before we close out, why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can check out, what you're doing, how your soccer journey.
Where they can follow you, and then where they can see your progress as a soccer player.
I mean, first obviously big shout out to you guys for having me on here. Like I think you called me, what was it, yesterday or something, just like telling me about all this stuff, and I was excited for it. So obviously a big shout out to you guys. And I don't really have much to say. If you guys, obviously you can just follow my Instagram or something, Luka Nedic 15. I don't not really posting much like soccer wise stuff. I'm more just on the Hasbulla side, just posting
Hasbulla. If y'all want to see good Hasbulla content, then follow him on Instagram.
Like that. But I don't know, man. Just big shout out to you guys for sure for having me on here.
For sure, bro. Yeah, it was a pleasure having you on, bro.
Hell yeah,
first of its kind. Los Pibes de Barrio is proud to present the 90 Plus podcast. We got the player spotlight going. We just had Luka Nedic, y'all. So stay tuned, and so y'all can see some more players, y'all. Some quality players like Luka.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you coming, Omaha native. Come on,
Yes, Sirski, put us on, bro.
Appreciate you guys having first episode, bro.